She called a woman. It was all woman when you saw any real people in this room. Soften up the mess, drop it in the water, let the daughter find her image with the rest. She'll be learning how to breathe, spinning through identity, reveal another pretty little scheme. Save her mind, hold her hand, and don't believe a lie. You understand me. Walk her down the valley, pack a piece of heaven for the bottoms of her feet. Teach her how to jump and how to stretch. Hi, and welcome back to my channel. Life changes, deal with it. So, thank you guys all who have joined me tonight. I thank you for all my subscribers and the people who follow me on YouTube. Thank you. So, Happy New Year's, everybody. Happy New Year's. Woo! I'm really glad to be here. I am really glad to be here. And I thank God, for just life. Amen. Well, I'm not going to procrastinate too much, or not procrastinate, but dilly-dally and talking. But anyways, I am here to talk about this new book. Well, it's not really new, but it's new to me. It's Mom, I Want to Know Your Story. By, what is her name? Oh, A Mother's Guided Journal to Share Her Life and Her Love. Family Keepsake Journal. So anyways, with that being said, let's get started. So anyways, I thought that it was important to be able to share a video about this book, like I said. And my daughter gave me this book. She got it off TikTok. And she gave me this book. And her and my granddaughters. And my granddaughters have been rushing. When is she going to be done? When is she going to be done? Writing in it. But it's got quite a bit. I wasn't expecting to have so much stuff, but it's got quite a bit. If y'all look at, I filled out a lot of it. See, you see, I filled out some of it. But it has, we'll say, 101 pages that you actually fill out. That's a lot. It's a lot of writing, but I don't mind. Our stories are long sometimes, and we have great stories to tell as parents. But anyways, with that being said, I'm very excited about telling the story and how my kids feel about learning my story. It's a lot of things that we teach them, to do, just seeing us and how we are and how we react and interact with different people, and they learn things like that. Sometimes they learn about us and our past through stories that we tell. They learn about our past through things other people say. I remember when your mama used to do this or your daddy used to do this, you know what I mean? So they learn a lot about through stuff like that too. But who better than to learn but get it from the horse's mouth, learn it from your parent, learn it from your dad, because it's so many stories that I wish that I knew about my mom, and asking, some of the people in my family, they don't know, and that's so odd to me, because you would think that our families, not just my family, I just mean in general, our families would be closer to each other to know more about each other. But I'm finding that is not so necessarily true. They know certain things, but that's it. I don't want my children to wonder, because there's so many things that I want to know about what my mom and dad did. My dad used to sit with us on the porch swing when we lived in Salt Lake City, because that's where I'm originally from. And we sit on the porch swing and we'd swing. I never will forget all those times. They were really good times, And he would tell us the different stories, how this happened or how that happened, and sometimes I do that to my children, but not very often. It's something might come up. I'd be like, one time this happened to me, or one time, and I don't want my kids to be like that. I don't want my kids to be ignorant of my life history and what I went through and how much fun that I had as a kid and what made me tick as a kid or a growing adult as well and into my years now, or what made me happy or why I was sad or why I, um, just did things the way I did them or the way I act the way I do now. I want them to know, and I want them to know who I am, and I want them to know my history. So I thought that book was great. So without that being said, I interviewed my children. Well, I was only able to interview a few of them, um, but I just want you guys to hear from them. My boys, they gave me a longer interview, which was great. I loved it. My girls, not so much, which is funny because I thought it would have been the opposite way around, but it wasn't. My girls didn't do so much, and my boys did, and I really love it. One of my sons, I'm not able to get his interview in. I might be able to get it in. I don't know if I'm not done editing by the time he gets it into me, but he does his own thing because he's always in the studio making music and doing shows, and things like that. So it's kind of hard for him to sit still. He's like his mother. He's always on the go. That's where I am. Always, oh, go, 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 speed racer. I'm everywhere. So with that being said, I want you to hear from my boys. Hi, and I'm concluding part of my video. So I have my sons here. I'm really not, I'm kind of more of a private person, so, and I'm not sure how they are, so we'll just call them D and Rocco. Okay? So that's what we'll call them. All right. So, I'm in the middle of this book, like I told you guys about Mom, I Want to Know Your Story. Okay, it was first brought out on TikTok, and my daughter got it for me. And at first, when she gave it to me, I didn't find I found the significance in it, but not the importance of it until after, like I just did my last podcast. You guys seen it? I ended up having a heart attack, and I could have been dead, could have been gone. And then who's to tell my story then? My kids, they only know a certain portion of it. So I brought them in here. These are just my two boys. The other one, I don't know where he went to the store or something. And then I have my daughters. So, and this young man right here, he's not my blood son, but he is my son. As long as we have the blood of Jesus Christ running through us, he's my blood son. So just get that. Okay. But anyways, I want him to give his story of his family too. Okay, because this is my son's brothers, their brothers, and my husband's son. But just because I'm not mom biologically doesn't mean I'm not mom. Okay? All right, so I'm going to step back and I'm going to let them answer a few questions that I have for them. Okay, so let me pull a little closer so I can see y'all handsome faces. All right. Oops, I don't want to mess it up. So, anyways, like I said, I had that heart attack, and it was a really scary thing to go through after I found out the issues that were worse than I actually thought. Thought it was a cold, thought it was, bronchitis, but it really was actually worse. So I have questions for you guys. I want to know, are there questions that you guys have in your just wondering about your parents, maybe your mom and your dad, not necessarily just me, but this is about parents roundabout. Okay, so it could be your mom, it could be your dad, it could be your grandparents or whoever. If you have questions or if you have found things out that you kind of was like, wow, I didn't know that. You know what I'm saying? Until now, and now they could be in your past because they're not here anymore, or it could just be things you want to know. So the questions that I have for you guys are this. Are there things about your parents' childhood that you guys would like to know more about?
Well, yeah, with me, see, I didn't know my great grandmother. She was born in Chicago,
Mm-hmm.
and I really didn't figure that out until after she passed. She passed about, I want to say about 5, 6 years ago by now,
Mm-hmm.
5, 6, 7 years, and it was just weird because all these people was calling the house. I didn't really know who was who. I'm learning that my grandmother on Jasmine. I'm learning that she has a sister. I never knew that.
See?
I always knew she was a only child for my whole life.
And are these things that you would have loved to know growing up, or are they things that you just like, I don't know them, so I really can't say that I love them, or not that you don't love them, that you're not really interested in knowing about them? Or are you actually at that point where I want to know who my family is?
Yeah. I mean, I was more surprised. So I was just like, man, just knowing certain stuff like that, and it just surprised me really. And then just hearing stories about my
Mhm.
grandma, my great grandmother, that like they're not even from Colorado. I figured out,
Right.
and I never knew that either. So it was just like, I want to know more stuff about my mom, my parents, and
Because
everything
it
like
gives
that.
you a
'Cause it's-
history. It gives you what do you not what do you call that? A biological
Mhm.
history of what's going on, because there could be things that you didn't know about.
Yeah, because she
You know?
told me, my grandma told me when she was in Chicago, the few times that she remembered she was out there, my great grandmother took her to Toys R Us and she tried to buy her a Elmo. But I guess it was like the John Gotti days when they lived out there.
Mm-hmm.
So that guy, I guess he had bought out every Elmo in that store.
Wow.
Yeah. So my grandma couldn't get an Elmo from my great grandmother, but I just wanted to hear more about that.
Right, because
the mom days is kind of interesting.
It's facts. It's facts, that fun facts, some not so fun, some are that you really want to know, that you find interesting.
Mhm.
You know.
So it's just like, now I'm just wondering like what I can figure out with my mom and
Right.
everybody else, and just see, because I don't. I mean, the surprise. I mean, I guess it was pleasant, but I would like to kind of know.
Mm-hmm.
Just knowing that I know versus somebody telling me
you a story.
Yeah, telling me
From
something.
hearing it seeing it your own eyes.
Yeah.
And stuff. So what about you, Rocco?
Yeah, thank you.
I didn't say it. I didn't say it. I almost said it. What about you, Rocco?
I would like to get to know more. I want to get to know more about both sides of my parents. But before I get to know that, I want to know about their parents' background more. And along with my great grandparents. So other than that, I mean, like, I just want to go down the history up to where, not too far back, but just up.
Yeah, not like
way
back.
Yeah, I'm not trying to dig. I'm not
way back. We just came off the mother load.
Yeah, I ain't trying to go that far back.
Right.
Not
just,
that far back.
Just mainly like a couple of steps,
just a couple
generations back.
You know,
because you guys did a generation thingy, didn't you, before?
Yeah, I did.
What did that tell you?
And I mean, it just told us like pretty much like where, you know, some family members are, and how many you know, of us are this or that, you know, our background, our ethnicity and everything.
That's crazy you say that, because my sister just did a little background.
I don't know what they call it. What do they call those?
Like the ancestries.
Like yes.
She did one, and she figured she did hers, and nothing popped up. So she had to call her grandmother, and she figured out her last name was not even her real last name.
Wow.
So she had to redo it and type in this last name that is what was their original last name before they came out here.
And they were able to track her out.
Yeah. And it was that surprised me too. I was like, man.
But you see how important it is to know your background, know people you live. There are so many things that I want to know about my mom. Mm-hmm. My mom's been gone since 1989. She passed away. Daddy died 4 years later. Well, my brother Carlos died 4 years later, and then Daddy died 4 years later after that. So it's like every 4 years was like a hard thing, you know. But it makes you want to go, wow, what happened when you were a teenager?
Yeah.
What did you like? Did you go somewhere? Did you hang out? Did you talk how did you and daddy meet? How did you and mom, you know what I'm saying? Things like that. It makes you want to know that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So since we've got that established, that we want to know about more of our biological history, what do you think about your children knowing more of your history and what you guys are doing at this point? Yes, they get to see certain things, but they don't know everything, honey. There's certain things we keep locked up in the closet, and y'all know it.
Or locked up on the videos.
Right. Right. And that's not
Locked up on the
necessarily
videos.
to say that we got skeletons in like, oh, that bone just fell. No, just kidding.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? It's not to say that, that necessarily that we got a bunch of bones in our closet, but there are things that I would say that some things the kids might not need to know, and they might not need to glorify some of the things we do, but there are things in our life that didn't need to be told to them, because by the time you are able to tell it, you might have forgotten all about it until it might pop up in a conversation or something one day, and then you're like, oh yeah,
that's
you know what I'm
about
saying?
Years ago.
Right. I remember when this happened, or daddy said this, or this happened.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And it's like crazy, because you never know how to what to say or what to do. You know what I mean? So I thought that was very interesting. I mean, are you guys interested in telling all your facts? I'm making sure it's recording. Okay? Because I was like, did I push the record button? Because I don't see it moving. It's a good topic and we didn't already went. But do you guys see yourself, right now I know you don't have any children, but you have plenty of children. You have plenty of children, because you have all your nieces and all your nephews. Matter of fact, it's so funny that I say that, because you're just coming into getting to really know your dad really well. These last, about 4 or 5 years or something? About 5 years. And, we used to see Derek when he was young, and then, a circumstance has it and life has it, we just didn't get to see them as often as we would like to. But as they've gotten older and they've grown up and they're living their own lives, they're building their own stories. They're making stories. So one day, you never know if D is going to sit there and he's going to have the kids, like he plays with the kids all the time, and be like, one day I was doing this, or one day I did this, or if Rocco is going to be like, hey, I remember I was doing this and dad does this. Do you guys see yourself talking about things like that?
Yeah.
I do. I just try not to sound old. I try to just tell them stuff just what applies to right now versus.
They try not to sound old. They trying to sound old, y'all.
One day he was playing with Junior.
Preaching too early.
He said one day you were playing with Junior and dropped him on his forehead.
Oh,
that was like 10 minutes ago.
He crazy. That ain't happening at all.
No,
that's gonna be a story.
He's crazy.
That's gonna be a story. Like Bruce when he was throwing sugar up, he's going, hey. We had low roofs. He's like, hey, and he's like, boom, she hit her head. She came flying back down. Oh, we laughed so hard.
Same thing Dad did to him.
So things like that, I think are just, really important facts. You know what I'm saying? There's funny things that happen in our lives, and there's things that are not so funny. And then, there's, just things that we just want to know. If you guys would say, what would be the most important to know about past history? Or, matter of fact, if you felt like your mom or your dad would be able to give you that history, or if you would have to do some digging and go back into, family history, would be an important thing for you guys.
I think I was just say more like the health problems,
Right.
Just having just stuff pop up on you, people calling you, telling you stuff about emergency with your mom or your family members that you didn't know nothing about.
Right.
And then you're just confused and you're like, well, what's going on?
Where did that come from? I've never had issues like that, or pop up on you. We'll say. Not that it has, but per se, if it did, then at least you would know where
I know, because
it came from.
That happened to me before, and I just really didn't know what was going on. So then when I asked my peoples what was going on,
Right.
some of them are too proud and they don't want to really like say what's going on. So
Right.
now you got to monitor them, and
Right.
you're listening to voicemails and trying to just see what you can catch. And
Right.
it's like with the doctor stuff, you know, they're not obligated to tell you anything.
They
So,
won't tell you
yeah,
nothing.
so
They won't.
yeah, so it's just that's mainly my main part about it. Just let me know what's going on. That
the
way,
doctor,
and that's a good thing.
Yeah,
and that's an important thing.
Yeah,
you know,
it's don't scare. I had Devalaire's mom. She didn't really tell nobody about the cancer until it was until it was like what
Already,
stage 4,
right?
Like she was already gonna be gone. They gave her months to live.
Right,
so
right.
It was like, man, it just
makes you go, what?
Yeah. So
you know, where'd that come from? You know,
so
that was the same thing with Auntie Tam. You know, by the time we knew, she was stage 4 lung cancer. Nobody knew that it was there. Nobody knew where it came from. All of a sudden, she just instantly one day just was sick and hurting, and it just her health just digressed, or how do you say that? It went down. You know, after that, you know, and it was just like, oh my God. So, you know, I think that is a very, very, very relevant point, you know, of knowing what your past is and who your past is. You know what I'm saying? It's not so much as just, you know, who, but what is in your past, because you just don't know. You know what I mean? I mean, all kind of stuff run on both sides of my family, and I didn't know that until I got older. And then I found out, okay, well, this runs on daddy's side. This runs on mama's side. You know what I'm saying? And you got to go, now my babies are sitting in the middle. So now we got to see what's going on with the babies. You know what I mean? And not that any of them have, you know, gotten any of the, you know, existing illnesses or anything like that. But it's still a thing that's behind in the back of your mind. And you go, you know what I mean? So
yeah, that's what makes you think. That's what makes me think too. Like, that's why I want to know this history about what's going on. Because I mean, it might not hit you now. You can be 60, 70 years old, and then it'll hit you. I mean, that's not the time to be trying.
That was a whole long time. That's the whole my body starting to weaken.
That's not the time to be having.
Right.
You know.
Right.
So that's what I'm saying. That like, knowing that history, because with me having kids, I want to make sure that my kids are going to be all right, and if they kids will be okay too, you know what I mean? Because
it's crazy.
I'll tell you now.
It's crazy. So I got this last question that I have for you guys. I told you guys I would only keep you in here a few questions. The last question is, well, really not a question, more of a statement / question. Like I said in the beginning, you know, D wasn't always around, but he was around. You guys all share the same dad.
Yeah.
And even with So, he has the same dad too. Y'all are all totally different. Each one of y'all. Y'all are all totally different. I wish you didn't have to go to the store really quick, but I'll get him when he comes back. But you guys are all totally different, and you guys all are a part of who your dad is. You know what I'm saying? I see that you have the more of the sweeter, calmer side of your dad, and I see. Yeah, I don't know what you're doing outside of the house, but you have the more calmer side of your dad. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And this one here, he has the temper side of your dad when he was younger. He's not so much like that now, like his dad was when he was young. His dad was actually kind of worse, I think. But you have a temporary side like your dad, but you also have your dad's way of thinking and analyzing things that's going on. And So, oh man, I think he got just a lot of that, both sides, because I can't really see where one side ends and the other side began with him, because he is such an individual person. He wants his individuality. He doesn't want to be categorized as this A or this B, you know what I'm saying, or C. He wants to be his own entity, you know what I'm saying? So he gets that like your dad. Your dad was like that. Go on, say it. Go on, say it, brother.
Nah. I ain't gonna say that. Nah.
He's like, I won't do that on TV. I won't do that. But
Nah.
So tends to be more of he wants to be the family man. You know what I'm saying? And he really is such wants to be such a family man. He, when he ends up in relationships, it usually ends up with women who have children and a lot of children, and he wants to be called dad, even though, you know what I'm saying, they may not be his, and baby daddies don't like that, for other people to come in and do that. But it's not that he doesn't want to disrespect the baby's daddy. He wants a relationship with his own children that he's not able to even see. You know what I'm saying? He gets to see one, and that's the baby, and he's so sweet. But he wants a relationship with the other ones. And because baby mama drama and baby daddy drama, he's not able to do it. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't blame it on one side or the other because, it takes two to tango, two to argue. And so he's that family man like his dad. Your dad is very much a family man. We have Sunday dinners. Matter of fact, he's in there cooking, and we have family dinners on Sundays. We hang out on all holidays, even though holidays do come and Christmas, birthdays, things like that, you might not always get what you want, but you're going to get something, because he wants to show his heart and he wants to show his love. And that I can say that you guys all have a piece of your daddy. You guys all have a piece of your daddy, and that makes me very proud, to see that. So with all that being said, I just wanted to get my boys in here to be able to say something. Hoping to get another podcast with them later on about some other things. But this one basically is about family and how important family is. So with that being said, I will wait for the next son to get here and we will finish up this podcast. Thank you very much.
Now we can watch Martin.
Now you can watch Martin or the game.
Martin.
Yeah. I mean, like, a lot of the stuff that we grew up on was, like, always wash the dishes, always keep your house clean. It was important, like, little family rules, you know what I mean? So, like, you gotta keep your bedroom clean, do your chores, stuff like that. And then if we didn't do that, then mom and dad, they'd be on us, you know what I'm saying? My dad be like, if you seen that, then you was in trouble, you know what I mean? Then if you didn't do the dishes, mom will be on you because she's like, I ain't cooking nothing. So, like a lot of stuff, was just like family rules and family values, stuff that we grew up on, they grew up on, that they were trying to teach us, to help us out and be grateful for the things that, they were doing and trying to instill in us. Yeah.
All right. Now that you've heard from my young men, they're very handsome. Let me explain to you guys about them. One, D, the one with the long dreadlocks, he is actually my stepson, but I've known him since he was way little. And I'm really happy that he's a part of our life. I'm happy to have got to know his mother and get to know his grandmother and his sister, they're awesome people. They're really great people. And that's why he's so great as he is, And then not to mention he's a part of my husband too. And I told my kids, they're all like me in a way, and they're like their dad in a way. D is like his dad. He's very calm. He's very calm spoken. He doesn't really flash off, really, that I've seen over the years. But I'm sure he probably has a rowdy side that go off on you. My son, Rocco, I'm using their nicknames because they really, some people aren't comfortable putting their names out. But anyways, my other son, Rocco, he's the oldest out of all 5 of the children. And he is more of a philosopher, if you please. He's like his dad, like that. His dad tends to expound a lot on a lot of things. And I'd be looking at him like, sometimes. But he's a lot like his dad, you know. And I'm talking about I be looking at his daddy like that, and I'm a son. My son too, though, sometimes. And he's a lot like his daddy. And he has a fiery side. And that he would get from me, his mother. I'm very fiery. Okay? I'm very fiery. You know, I used to be. I'm not as much anymore. I've been praying and God has delivered me from that. I'm still being delivered. But anyways, like I said, my son is like me in a way. He's fiery, but he's like his dad as well. Because his dad is the type who's no nonsense. He don't play that. Period. Homie don't play. Okay? Bam, hit you over the side, over the head with the sock. Okay? That's where he is. My other son, so he is more on the family side of things. He loves family. He loves family things. He loves being as much as he can around his children, but at this point in time, he's not able to see but just one of them. It's a lot of things that be going on between baby mamas and baby daddies sometimes. It just doesn't work out. And you wish for them to be able to see their babies, and you wish for myself to be able to meet my babies. I did meet one, but in beautiful baby, looks just like his daddy. But, you know, it's just things that happen in life. Sometimes people don't work out and relationships don't work out. And for some reason, the babies get caught up in the middle. So y'all pray that, you know, he's able to see his children, that I'm able to see his children. But anyways, he's a lot like his daddy. He's very family oriented. My husband is very family oriented. He does Sunday dinners. He loves to get together on Sundays. We do get together Sundays after church. We all go to church together too, which I prayed about that, and God made that happen for us. And I thank you, Jesus. But anyways, he's very family oriented. He loves to be around his children. I do notice that with him being family oriented and wanting to be such a family man and a dad, and to be able to be around his children, I noticed that he, in some of his relationships, in his past relationships, I should say, he ended up with women that had children already, and he just would love for the kids to call him dad, you know, even though they're not his, but, you know, they will call him dad, and some of them, you know, but, you know, he just really wants to be a good dad to his own children. So y'all be praying that happens. But anyways, he's like his daddy in that way. His daddy's a good man, he's a good father, takes care of all of his children, always has. He's a great man, he's a great husband, he's a great dad. He has lots of stories to tell, lots of things to say, lots of things that he can say about wanting to learn about his own parents. And so hopefully we can get him on here to say that. And my daughters, they're, like I said, they're really short on the videos, but they're a lot like me. And this book will show them how and why they're a lot like me. It'll show the boys how and why they're a lot like me. How I did things, how I grew up, how I felt about things. And that's the way, you know, that we're supposed to have it. So, check out this book, y'all. It's awesome. Check it out. I think you'll really be, you know, happy with it. My daughter got it for me last year, and I've been working on it little by little. But as you all know, seeing my last video, I had a heart attack, and the things in life that we think are so important to us are really not. They're really menial, or whatever you say. And some of the things that we don't think are important in life are more important in life to us, you know. And I just want you guys to take out the time to make sure your children know your story. Make sure your children know your history of where you've been, where you're coming from. Okay, so now we're going to hear from my girls.
Hi everyone. It's important to me to know my mom and dad's life story just because I want to know what they've been through in their life, just because I don't know some of the things. And also, I would like to teach my children and tell my children stories about what they've been through in life, because at the end of the day, we can learn something that we never knew about my parents and the things they went through and growing up and the time frame that they grew up in. So yeah, that's pretty much why I feel like it's important to know that.
So I gave my mom the book, Mom, I Want to Know Your Story, because I have been trying to find out more information about my family, and I want to be able to share those things with my kids. I plan on eventually doing the same for them, but I can't do that if I don't know like the beginnings of it. So I went and got that book from my mom so I could find out about like how she grew up, things that were popular when she was growing up, things she took interest in, her stories. It has some really nice questions inside of it, and basically I guess I'm being nosy but I'm just trying to learn more, and so that I can pass all that information down to my kids. I think it's really important to know where you come from, who you come from, how you come from, and just be able to share that with your family and keep passing it down from generation to generation, because things get lost. Even so more recently, like with newer age couples and families, I think sometimes like the history gets lost, and I don't want the history to get lost with me. So that's my goal with having my mom write this book for me.
All right. Now that you've heard from my girls and you've heard from my boys, it might give a little bit of a secret away of who we are. Me as a mom, their dad as a dad. And I hope this has been a really good experience for you guys to hear what's been going on in our lives and how things took place in our lives. Because to hear the stories about my dad and my Uncle Gilbert and my Uncle Rick and my Uncle Albert and, it's so many, and Jenny, all my family, Rosie, names that I'm just, throwing out there, and how those things affected my life growing up and how they were positive things in my life. It really taught me how to be a family person. I love my family. I love my family near and far. Even if I don't get to see them, they know I love them because I make sure I tell everybody I love them every day. And that's what you need to do. Not only tell them your story, not only tell them, the things that are going on in your life, but make sure they know how important they are to you. Give them their flowers now while they're alive, because things may happen when you might not be here, and that actually happened to me last Sunday when I had that heart attack on December 29th. Well, I had the heart attack before then, but I went to the hospital on the 29th. And, it's a scary thing when you're like aspirating in your own fluids and you're like, you can't breathe and you think you're going to die. Well, I praise God because he brought me out through that. And I got to give God the credit through all of this. Though this is just a little video on the book, it's so important to me to tell my life to my kids. They need to know who I am, why I am. I'm trying to hold back tears. It's important to have a family life, to be a family person, because nobody is no island, not the bad word, but ship, island to their own self. Is that how you say it? Nobody. Okay? I didn't cuss. And I wasn't saying cuss, I was saying SHIP. But, I just want you guys to understand how important it is for our children to hear more from us than shut up, sit down, be quiet, be still. Don't say nothing. Get in the corner. You know what I'm saying? You're on punishment. It's more important for our families to hear and to know more about us. Because there are so many more things I want to know about my dad. If any of my family out there in Salt Lake, you guys see this video, please send me pictures. I don't have a lot of pictures of my daddy. If you guys have pictures of my mom, y'all know who they are. Send me pictures of my mom. I have, I think, 3 pictures. And I had a friend, a very close friend, send me some videos that I was able to screenshot, but my phone got messed up and I lost all those pictures and I wasn't able to get them back. But I did contact him to see if I could get some more. So, Quentin, if you're watching this, please send me the videos again so I could screenshot, if you would. But I want to thank you guys for joining me. I just wanted you guys to know, don't take life for granted. Don't take daily things for granted. Because I couldn't even walk a week ago. I couldn't walk. I did go to church and I praised God with everything in me, but I was so winded and so out of breath and I couldn't do much. But I knew that if I was going down, and I know a lot of people might say that sounds crazy, but if I'm going to go down, I'm going to go down praising my God, praising the Lord in heaven, praising Jesus Christ. So y'all pray for my health and my recovery. As you can see in this video, I feel a lot better. I was able to, do my hair and put a little lip gloss and stuff on. I wasn't able to do that last week. I was really sick. I wasn't able to do that the last 3 weeks, 4 weeks. I just been really sick. Not trying to, prolong the video, but didn't know what was wrong with me. Didn't know if I was going to be here. I even prayed last Sunday before I went to church. I told my sister I was praying to the Lord. Is this my last time here on earth? Am I going to be gone? Are you taking me home? And that's what I thought, because I couldn't breathe that bad. So I said to myself, am I going home, Lord? So with that being said, be ready to go home at any minute. You don't know when the Lord is going to take you home. You don't know. So enjoy your family while you can. Tell them stories every day. I tell my grandchildren stories about me because I want them to know about me. Things they can remember. I'm not promoting the book because I don't know who even wrote the book. I really didn't look in it, but I know it's on TikTok. So if you can get on TikTok and find one of these, I would say do that. It's one of the best things that happened to me because I procrastinated and I didn't fill it out at first. But life is short. Life is really short. This is the second heart attack I've had. And I pray God that I don't have another, that I stay healthy. I don't know why, but He chose for me to have that. But it's drawn me closer to my family, closer to Him, to my Lord and Savior. So with that being said, I love you. Please don't forget to like. Don't forget to hit that bell, ding, ding, for all. To be subscribed to all. Okay? Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. I love you. Please leave comments. I love to hear comments. I love to answer comments. I love to answer questions. Please leave them. Thank you. God bless you.